Hey there folks, it's an absolutely beautiful June afternoon here on the Eucalyptus River at Berrima. Just spent another day doing some monitoring of Eucalyptus dieback and just finishing up for the day, but I just did a plot upstream just for the last hour or two. While I was having lunch here, I just noticed these guys. Probably good enough to make a video on, hopefully. This is a eucalypt I've only just recently gotten familiar with, maybe in the last sort of 2 years, although I have heard about it for a long time. I was just waiting till I could pick it up, but this is a sapling, and you just have a look at it, and what jumps out at you is the leaves are just very small for a eucalyptus sapling. They're very on the small side, but in the adult stage, they don't really get a lot bigger. I think the adult leaves can get to about 10 centimetres long. These leaves here are about 4 centimetres long or so. They're probably pretty juvenile, but this is Eucalyptus stellulata. It's called the Black Sally. And it's a really identifiable eucalypt once you get your eye for the venation on the leaves. We might need the adult leaves to have a good look at what I mean. But they're just growing here on the Eucalyptus River. There's not too many of them, and the ones that are here are looking a little bit on the sick side. But I'm hoping I've got enough material to do the video justice. I saw these guys in the town of Orange a couple of weeks ago in some bushland. Here's another one here. I mean, it's about 4 metres tall all up. Really prominent venation. I'll have to get this in the sunlight to do it justice. They just got this really prominent sort of parallel venation. It just puts me in mind of some other Australian native plants. The first thing I just link it to is it's trying to look like a hakea. That's probably doing it justice there. It's just got this really distinctive, almost hakea look to it. It's quite unusual for a lot of the eucalypts we get around here. In my pocket from the bushland, I just bought a little bit. I might be stretching it here, but I bought a little bit of what we call Hakea dactyloides. That's a Hakea proteaceae member. And that's a good old Hakea dactyloides, which was growing in the plot. But this is what I link this Eucalyptus stellulata to. It's just got a very similar, just maybe not doing a complete justice on this sapling, but it's really this leaf here I want to get hold of. Just reminding me of that earlier Hakea leaf. It's a different shape, but it's just a venation and the overall sort of appearance, a really distinguishing veins or conspicuous veins, I should say, that really gives it that Hakea look. And sometimes you see it really strongly on the adult foliage. What stellulata is known for, and only a couple of other eucalypts do this, is they have the secondary veins parallel to the midvein. That's what they're known for. They're just one of the rare eucalypts that does that. So that venation that's running parallel to the midvein, or roughly parallel, instead of running at an acute angle sideways, or even an obtuse angle sideways. You know, anywhere from 45 to 80 degrees or something like that. Well, you can see stellulata, they're just running straight up the leaf. They're just growing here on the bank of the river. Eucalyptus stellulata, it likes a cold, sort of frost-prone or maybe even snow-prone cold flat. And I just got a question on my channel the other day. I think an Australian living in America was asking me about some cold-tolerant species. Now, I'm not advocating at all that you grow eucalyptus in America. It's an Australian plant, and I probably won't give any advice on that. And I'm just linking back to the Californian bushfires, where I'm pretty sure eucalyptus played a role But if you can grow them safely in gardens and not add to the fire risk, this is probably one of the cold tolerant species you might want to grow. This really likes a cold area, stellulata. It's a Victorian, New South Wales, Queensland tree, but most of the occurrence is in New South Wales. It's a real tableland species. It's up and down the tablelands. There's sort of a gap in the distribution around the Hunter Valley. Maybe not cold enough and sort of fertile enough for it there, maybe. Too hot and dry, but it sort of punches through there around Armidale and west of Gloucester. It goes through Bathurst, it goes down the southern tablelands, through Kosciuszko, and then it goes into Victoria, where it just does an arc through the east of Victoria and gets us sort of the east of Melbourne there. It doesn't go further west than Melbourne. And again, it just gets into Queensland through that Stanthorpe area there. It just goes through that Stanthorpe area and finishes up around Warwick, but it's hardly in Queensland. It sort of stops just short. Yeah, that's a really hakey of a nation I'm talking about. So it's a Queensland, New South Wales, Victorian species, and you can find it commonly in the New South Wales colder areas. The trunk, it can sometimes be a little bit green and it can have ribbons. This is only a juvenile. There's a bit of a hodgepodge of trees here. There's Eucalyptus pauciflora, snow gum. There's Eucalyptus rubida. We've got a fastigator planted, I think, over there, possibly. But it does say that stellulata can get these green tones, these sort of green tones on the trunk. I'm just trying to show those. A smooth trunk, green tones. It can grow as a mallee or a tree to 15 metres tall. And this one definitely has some really olive green tones. I hope you can see that in the afternoon sunlight. It's a beautiful afternoon here. And then it can have some ribbons hanging down from the upper branches. It can throw some ribbons. This one's probably too small for it. Just let me show you an adult tree over this way. And it's got some fertile material on it. So here is an adult plant. Yeah, that's definitely it. And it's just got the most minimal of fertile material on it, so I'll try and show that. But here's the trunk, a little bit tessellated at the bottom. It's got this really short fibrous, really tessellated, chunky fibrous bark. And then that bark sort of stops about there, about 3 metres up. And then you get in these nice sort of spiral patterns on the trunk. You're probably not going to be able to see that just with the angle of the low sunlight. I'll try and get over here. But yeah, it's got a sort of tessellated sock. And then it's got a bit of a spiral pattern up the top, bare branches. There's a few ribbons hanging down. There's a bit of epicormic growth. And there are some sort of cream and grey and just a little bit of green toning as well. But the green was much more conspicuous on that sapling over there. So this is a big tree. Unfortunately, this big stellulata, yeah, which might be about 10-15 metres tall, it's pretty much dead. It's all dying, which is a shame. And that's what we're investigating at the moment, a lot of Eucalyptus dieback. But it does have this nice, not a peppermint at all. It's more of maybe a Bridgesiana sort of trunk, or just these short fibrous plates. So it's pretty interesting. And again, it only goes for 3 metres, and then you got these bare branches. I can see the juvenile foliage here, little sprays. They're very bluey green. I know that's going to be really hard to see, just the angle of the sun. Just let me show you the buds. There are some buds here, can you believe, just on these sort of dying branches. Now, stellulata is called stellulata because the bud clusters sort of look like I guess an asterisk or a star shape, star-like. Now, the buds are in 9s to 15s. So they push it up to the 15 mark, 7 to 15 bracket, though it's described as having 9 to 15. I might liberate this and Just try and have a good look in the sunlight. I just love the Australian bush in the golden afternoon, winter sunlight. You can't beat it, I don't think. There it is there. The buds are only small. These guys are only about, they're only about 5 mil long, I reckon, and they're probably about 1 mil wide. They're only tiny. And 9 to 15 is the number. So like clustered heavily like a star is where stellulata comes from. Looks like they got a short operculum and the hypanthium might be elongated. The peduncle only looks short, maybe about, I reckon the peduncle would be about 5 mil, maybe shorter. Whether these buds are at their sort of mature stage, I'm not quite sure, but I'd say they'd be nearing maturity. And they're just sitting with that adult foliage there. Quite short. The adult leaves, I think it's allowed to get to 11 centimetres long, and I think about 5 centimetres wide, I think at their maximum. So they're a short-leaved eucalypt, only about 11 centimetres or so, 10 centimetres. Every time I see stellulata around here, it seems to have leaves about 5 centimetres long. So pretty good identifiable feature. It's one of these eucalypts that the foliage is very easily, gives you a very good lead. It's just so short and elliptical. They're sort of medium thickness. They're not overly thin. Medium thickness. And I'm just going for the smell here. Yeah, there's a sort of a strong eucalyptus smell there. Yeah, it's got a funny smell. It's sort of eucalyptus with a bit of maybe musk or something like that. That's what I'm picking up anyway. Little bit of a perfume there of something or other. I can't quite put my nose on or my brain on. There's a few more buds here, very small. And then I do have some fruit, and I reckon this is all I'm going to get. Be completely dead, but almost dead. There's the fruits there. They can, like the buds, they can possibly be up to clusters of 9 to 15. These are very tiny. There's only 2 left. And I'm just with a naked eye. Yeah, about 5 mil wide, 5 mil long I'm getting. They're not very big. Here's a bit of a healthier specimen here. Not that I can get any fertile material yet, but I'll have a look and see what I can possibly get down. Just showing that trunk again. Yeah, it's really sort of hard fused on bark, and then we got these beautiful smooth branches. They've also got these really cool lenticels. Yeah, got all these pimples all over the branches there. Quite interesting. So even the trunk is sort of identifiable with that lower sock and then those upper branches. Yeah, can you believe, folks, that's all I'm going to get. Looked around, just not much on offer with these stellulata. Let's just try and get them in the sunlight. The fruits are described as being up to 5 mil wide and 5 mil long. Sometimes they're 3 mil. So that's quite small. That's in the realms of MacArthuri and aggregator. They've got pretty small fruits as well. If I can get this sunlight here. And yeah, the valves are described as being rim level or enclosed, and normally there's 3 to 5 of them. So I've never had a really good look at the fruit, but there they are. Just 2 of them, that's sort of all I could get. On a really short peduncle, you can see the peduncle, I guess, might be 5 mil or so. On this guy, yeah, not even that, probably less. So it's doing things on the small side, stellulata, fruit, buds and leaves. Bluey green in the sun. It's got a good hint of blue in it. It's almost, I'd say it's probably got more blue than green, this one. But again, on that blue-green spectrum, this is sort of getting up the bluey end.